Hey guys, it's October the 30th, 2025, and I hope everybody's been having a wonderful day so far today. It's another gross day here in South Carolina. Looks like it's starting to clear up a little bit now. I'm looking over here to the right, and that's where the sun sets every single day. And it looks like the sun's trying to break through the clouds. I mean, we haven't seen sun in like the past 5 days now. Yeah, it's been overcast since Sunday, so it's been quite a few days since we've had some sunlight. But I was looking at the weather this morning, and it looks like we're going to have some clear sunny days leading up until Monday of next week, so I'm super excited about that. And of course, tomorrow's Halloween. I hope that you guys have a wonderful Halloween tomorrow, and I hope everybody stays sober tomorrow as well. The one thing about Halloween, and this year it's falling on a Friday. I guess last year was on a Thursday, but with it being on a Friday this year, that's when there's going to be a lot of parties, unfortunately. Especially with it being the weekend, Halloween, and a Friday, I would imagine there are going to be a whole bunch of parties tomorrow. And, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of you out there who are going to get invited to those parties. Just really think hard about it. Do you think that you can, not drink if you go to that? Do you think that you're going to be able to say no if somebody offers you a drink? Really think hard about that. Think really hard about who's going to be there as well. Is there going to be somebody there who, in the past has done a pretty good job of talking you into doing things? Maybe an older brother or an older sister or something like that. Somebody who, they're very good at influencing you into doing stuff. Not necessarily saying that an older brother or sister is going to do that. I'm just using that for an example. Just somebody that's, is very, very influential in your life and, might not maybe, number one, know that you are sober right now. Or two, maybe they just don't understand AUD. They don't know that, once you stop, you have to stop for good. It's basically all or nothing. Not everybody understands AUD. They just don't know. Some people think that, you can just slow down and get control of your drinking. And I'm sure that everybody watching this right now pretty much knows for the most part that we can't. But not everybody out there knows that. And like I said, you never know. You might go over to somebody's house this weekend and, somebody's really pushing hard. Come on, you can have a drink. It's not going to hurt. Just one. We're just going to drink for tonight. Just don't drink the rest of the weekend. It's Friday night. What's wrong with you? We can have some drinks on a Friday night. Don't drink the rest of the weekend. Don't drink the rest of the week. Or, don't drink the rest of the month. Let's have a good time tonight. They don't understand that if we have one drink, it's all going to start all over again. That cycle will repeat itself. But anyway, now that I've wasted like 3.5 minutes talking about that, what I wanted to talk about today is I wanted to go back over this Daily Reflections book and, discussing, like I said, the fact that tomorrow is Halloween, number one, and there's probably going to be a lot of parties and people drinking and having a good time over the weekend because it's Halloween weekend. I just thought that this page or section, whatever they call it, I guess this reflection, this daily reflection right here, I just was flipping through the book today. I found actually a couple really good ones I thought about discussing, but this one right here, it's very short, right to the point, and I think it's just a really good discussion for today's video. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Alright, and let's go ahead and dive into this. It's called, Do I Have a Choice? The fact is that most alcoholics, for reasons yet obscure, have lost the power of choice in drink. Our so-called willpower becomes practically non-existent. And that's Alcoholics Anonymous, page 24. That's an excerpt from the big book. And this is January the 8th of the Daily Reflections book, page 16 that I'm reading off of right now, if you want to go back and look at this after the video's done. But there's a little paragraph underneath of this. I'm going to go and read over this really fast. And it says, my powerlessness over alcohol does not cease when I quit drinking. In sobriety, I still have no choice. I can't drink. The choice I do have is to pick up and use the kit of spiritual tools, Alcoholics Anonymous, page 25. When I do that, my higher power relieves me of my lack of choice and keeps me sober one more day. If I could choose not to pick up a drink today, where then would be my need for AA or a higher power? And, you know, I really think that just that first part, the very first thing that I read was the most important part about that. And let me read this one more time. The fact is that most alcoholics, for reasons yet obscure, have lost the power of choice and drink. Our so-called willpower becomes practically non-existent. That's so true, guys. I talk about this all the time. There is no, we don't have willpower when it comes to alcohol. Once we have one drink, it's over. We go right back to drinking the way that we did before or worse, and the cycle picks right back up where it left off. If you've been 3 years sober and you decide to drink, and that cycle repeats itself, you will go right back to drinking the way that you were 3 years ago all over again within a very short period of time. It might not happen day one, but it's going to happen pretty quick. And that's one of the most dangerous things about this as well is, I've spoken about this too. We get to a certain point. Let's say, like for myself, I've got 3.5 years of sobriety right now. If I was to go back and drink the way that I did before I got sober, I wouldn't be here anymore. It would take my life. I would end up with alcohol poisoning if my liver and my pancreas didn't shut down. But I would get alcohol poisoning from drinking that much alcohol because I don't have the tolerance that I used to have anymore. My tolerance has gone completely down to the bottom. I would imagine that one beer, would give me a serious buzz. But like I said, it wouldn't take long for me to get right back to, I need to go to the store and get some liquor. Because the beer just wouldn't do what I wanted it to do. I would need to get back to that vodka so that I could, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. I mean, that's pretty much the reason I drank liquor the way that I did, because I got intoxicated so quickly. But anyway, back to talking about this. And, the thing is, like I said, we're going into the weekend. It's Halloween weekend. I would imagine there's going to be a bunch of parties out this weekend. And I just wanted to talk about this today, especially with tomorrow being Halloween, and it's a Friday. I just want to remind everybody out there, just stay strong. Remember why you're sober. Remember where you were at before you got sober. What was your life like before you put the bottle down or you put the substance down? Think back to that. And tomorrow, if in fact you do go anywhere at all, you might just be walking around trick-or-treating with your kids and in your own neighborhood, and the next thing you know, you bump into one of your neighbors, and because this used to happen to me all the time. I'm out trick-or-treating with my kids, and next thing you know, I see one of my neighbors, and they're like, hey man, we're gonna be having beers after trick-or-treating tonight. Why don't you come on by? And absolutely, I'll see y'all as soon as this is over and done with. And then what I would do is, I'm out here telling my kids, all right guys, y'all about done? Because I'm just ready to go drink. I'm ready to go have a good time. Instead of living in the moment, enjoying that time with my children, I was ready to call it a night and go hang out at the party. Just sad to think about, all that wasted time, things I could have been doing. And I was, so caught up in the drinking and worried about getting intoxicated that once again, I was not living in the moment. I wasn't, being present for my children. Because all I was thinking about is, man, I'm ready to get this over with and done with so I can, go over to Bob's house and drink as much as I want, and hang out all night long because they're having a bonfire. It is going to be a good time. And then next thing you know, I'm waking up the next morning. Don't remember anything that happened the night before, of course, because I blacked out and probably made a fool out of myself. Probably lost a friend again because, I said something I shouldn't have said or did something I shouldn't have done. But anyway, back to the topic for today. And once again, that's, do I have a choice? We don't have a choice. There is no drinking. We can't control it. There's just no control. And please don't allow yourself to get fooled tomorrow and think that you're gonna control it just for today. Because it's Halloween. It's Halloween. I'm only gonna drink today. I'm not gonna drink tomorrow. I'm just gonna have some drinks tonight because we're at a party. Tomorrow I will not drink. Don't fool yourself into that. If you drink tomorrow night, you're gonna wake up Saturday. You're gonna feel horrible. And if you don't drink that night, you're going to start to go through withdrawals again. And nobody wants to deal with that, And deep down inside that you might live right across the street from a store. You might live right across the street from a gas station or a grocery store or something. I mean, you might literally have to walk 200 feet to go buy some more alcohol. Or maybe it's an hour-long drive into town for you to get alcohol. Or maybe it's just a couple minutes to run down the road really fast and grab some alcohol. But, let's just not go back to it this weekend. At the end of the day, we have to do it one day at a time. And most importantly, let's get through today sober. That is the most important thing, is just getting through each day. And today, let's not drink, one more day. We can worry about tomorrow when it gets here, But I did want to talk about this today, just to kind of put that bug in your ear so, you're already kind of thinking about it a little bit. That way tomorrow morning when you're at work and, you're having coffee in the break room with the rest of the guys you work with, and next thing you know, somebody goes, "Hey, what you doing tomorrow night?" Or, "What you doing tonight?" We're having a get-together over the house, and we're going to have all the kids, and we're going to have a keg, and, we're going to be at, half the parents are going to stay back at the house and, hang out and cook food and whatnot while the rest of the parents take the kids trick-or-treating. But we're going to have a party, and we'd love for you to come. And, there's going to be a lot of alcohol, and we're going to be having a great time, and you're sitting there rolling that around in your head. And, you're brand new to sobriety. You've got 30 days under your belt. You think that's a great idea? You don't have to go to a party to take your kids trick-or-treating. Just think about that. You could take them trick-or-treating and just go home. You could take them trick-or-treating and then, run out and go grab some food, go home and turn on a spooky movie and spend time with your family tomorrow night and wake up the next day with no regrets. No regrets. Think about that. It's going to be Saturday morning as well. Do you want to wake up on Saturday morning after getting wasted drunk, blacking out? You don't remember anything. You wake up that morning and your wife or your husband's mad at you and they don't even want to talk about it. And your house is trashed and, you spent a whole bunch of money the night before and just, all the problems that come along with this. You feel like crap all day long on Saturday. You're hungover. You've got to go run to Panda Express and spend $80 on Panda Express. And you've got to buy food for everybody because you can't just buy food for yourself. So you go buy all this Panda Express and a case of Red Bulls and another case of beer. Or maybe you just swing by the liquor store real quick and grab yourself a pint. That way nobody will know. You can have yourself a little, drinky drink on the way home and, maybe slam a beer or two and take a couple swigs out of that bottle and go inside and try to spend time with your family over the rest of the weekend. You've got all that regret and shame on your shoulders, and you can't stop thinking about the fact that you relapsed again, and now you can't stop thinking about the alcohol or the substance. It's on your mind all day, all night. It's all you're thinking about. Or you can stay sober. And like I said, wake up Saturday morning with no regrets. Spend the day with your family. Or if you don't have a family, spend the day with your friends. Or maybe spend the day with, your brother, your sister, your mom or dad, whoever. But no regrets. Nothing to worry about. There's nothing but sunshine and blue skies ahead of you. When we're drinking, and all of these problems starting to happen and our life's falling apart, there's not sunshine and blue skies ahead. It's dark, stormy, scary, depressing, guilt, shame, all of the above that's waiting for you through that windshield. Let's go into the weekend with blue skies and sunshine ahead of us, and not all those dark, depressing, sad things that come along with relapse. I know that you guys can do it. Let's stay sober one more day, and let's stay sober tomorrow. I know I say all the time, let's not worry about tomorrow until it gets here, and that's so true, and let's not worry about it. But like I said, I just wanted to plant that bug in your ear so that you're thinking about it. That way tomorrow morning, like I said, you show up to work and somebody invites you, or you get that text message from your next door neighbor, or maybe you get a text message from one of your buddies and they're inviting you to come over. Really think about that. Are you ready for that now? Do you really, really feel secure in your sobriety to where you can say no? And if you're not secure enough to say no, don't go. Just find something else to get into this weekend. There's tons of other things that you can do and stay sober all in the same time. Like I said, guys, let's stay sober one more day. We can't do it today. But at the same time, let's stay sober tomorrow too. Let's wake up Saturday morning with no regrets. Nothing on our shoulders. No guilt, no shame. Nothing. Nothing but blue skies and sunshine in the windshield. Guys, thank you so much for watching today. I really do appreciate it. And I'm going to go ahead and hop inside. I'm a little bit chilly out here right now. So, like I said, thank you so much for being here. And until tomorrow, I will see you guys then. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. I love you guys so much. Bye.